I would. And that just doesn't make sense to me. Jessica. How are you? I'm good. It's a beautiful day here in Denver. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm working on setting up a couple of blanks, little sections to make some more magic wands. Been having a lot of fun. Had a bunch of people ask for custom magic wands, and it's spooky season, and I figure the wands are pretty apropos. So these are just sections of solid rod, clear, and I'm gonna cover them with some colored glass to make them really pop, make them really, unique. I've been making some ghosts and some other kind of, other fun holiday, Halloween, again, spooky items. So I'm gonna get a little prep set up for those as well. Have you seen them? The ghosts or the pumpkins or the wands or any of the stuff is... Have I been blowing glass? I've been blowing glass for a little while now. I bought my first torch, and I really did it kind of more of a hobby at that point. And then I gave it up for a while. But I bought my first torch a little over 30 years ago. I then put it up for a while, but about 9 years ago, I quit my day job. Well, no, I guess it's probably more 7 or 8 years ago. I quit my day job and been making glass ever since. Ooh, the dragon? That dragon's not made out of glass. Sorry to say. But it might be about time I start trying to make something like that. No, unfortunately, the Dragon was 3D printed. To get the definition in glass for something like that is a little beyond me still, but I guess I probably should take that Dragon out of that picture. I don't want people to get confused and say, "Oh, I want one of those made." Have you ever done any glass blowing, or have you seen glass being done before? I'm using a torch with oxygen and propane, correct? Getting a flame up to about 3,000, 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit to get the glass to a molten, liquefied state. That happens when glass gets, well, glass will get pretty juicy once it hits about 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. It's such a beautiful medium. It's such a really cool way that it can be sculpted or shaped and manipulated into all sorts of forms, both functional and non-functional. The fire guy, huh? I think I've heard of the fire guy. Has he been focusing on doing some Christmas ornaments recently? Becca, I live in Denver, and I work in a studio that's got all sorts of great ways to get a chance to blow glass. I do a month-to-month rental on my space. I've been here for shucks. It's maybe it's coming up on like 4 years. I've been making Christmas ornaments for people. This was for a dear friend that's a big Green Bay Packer fan. Made some Christmas ornaments for her. I lost my train of thought. Let's keep on blowing glass. Oh, the studio here. The studio here's got a couple of different ways to get into it. I don't know if you're ever close to Denver, but the guy who pretty much rents out the space, he is doing a glass experience. And the glass experience, I think it's like $100. It's like a 2-hour come on in and get in front of a torch and somewhat assisted, somewhat on your own. You get an opportunity to, play with glass. I just drove to Minnesota to pick up some equipment. That's a healthy drive. I think it was like a 13, 14-hour drive to get to where I went. But it was well worth it. I got to hang out with a dear friend there. And then I got myself a new toy for my glass shop. So, toy. It's a few $1,000 piece of glass equipment or equipment. Yeah, toy. What's AIT? Get a section. Toys are fun. Toys keep us young. Toys make the day interesting. Military. I figured it might be something to do with some military training. Well, I hope you enjoyed your time in Colorado. Check it out. This is it was a little back. A friend, somebody watching the live streams, his partner was having a birthday. And he says, hey, would you make me a magic wand? And I said, you know, I had a magic wand that I had made myself several years ago, and I lost it. I lost it in a house fire. And I wanted to remake one, but I never did it. So I was like, oh, yeah, I got you a magic wand. So I started making these magic wands, and they've been a lot of fun. Before long, I had a few ordered up, so. We learned to make eyeglasses here. Cool. What part of Colorado? I'm also going to make more of these little ghosts. Why, thank you. This guy's really cool because he has UV reactive glass. With a little UV light shone on them, the glass reacts and gives off a vibrant glow. And he also has some minions coming. Check these out. He loves he's got a collection of minions that I've made for him. And he said, hey, can you make a minion ghost? And I was like, yeah. Nice. Well, Becca, I've got a couple of colors. Oh, I made another one for that buddy I was talking about. It's got some UV reactive pink. I've got some light blue UV reactive color. And I think I have some yellow. Little jack-o'-lanterns. Here's that pink I was talking about. The pink's pretty cool. So I've got a couple of sections warming up in the kiln, and I'm kind of buying some time to let those kind of soak a little bit. I'm going to get another piece of actually, what I think I'll do is I'm going to split this in half. Get a couple of pieces into the kiln. Why, thank you. We've been having fun with them. What kind of kiln do I have? I actually have a couple of kilns, but my main kiln right now is this machine back here. It's a Paragon. It's a Paragon I think it's an F140. This is a solid piece of glass. Yep. I got a solid, this is I think 10 mil. I think this is 22 mil. Actually, it might be 18 mil. But get them both juicy hot. Touch them together. Soak a little bit more heat into it. And that glass, as it goes liquid, wants to kind of move from one side to the other, like liquids will. And that becomes one nice solid piece of glass. They fuse together. Now I'm going to make sure it's straight. It's on axis, but reasonably. It doesn't need to be all that straight this time around. I usually try to make sure it's real straight, but the Paragon that I have is a pretty classic. A lot of people that do the kind of work I do have that kiln. It's got a decent cavity. It's got a decent storage on it. It's probably about 12 inches tall. You know, come to think of it, I don't know what the measurements are in it. I bet you it's a little bit more than 12 inches tall. Let's get some measuring tools out. I'm giving you diameters and dimensions, but I'm kind of guessing. You're hanging out asking good questions, let me not just guess. Let me give you some accurate information, or as accurate as I can give. Something else that glass likes to do is become nice and round. Again, like most liquids, it wants to have the least amount of surface tension. So as it goes liquid, it wants to become more and more round. So I kind of take that wispy end, get it nice and hot, spinning round and round. And it forms a nice round end. What does my kiln use for fuel? My kiln is plugged in. That kiln right there is actually on a more industrial style electric source. I think that's on a 220. It ramps up to, well, it will go several thousand degrees. So it pulls a lot of energy. Yeah, I was using 18 millimeter solid clear rod attached to a pretty thick handle. This here right now is not what I really want you to use. This is 6 mil. This over here is 10 mil. Take care of the puppy. Thanks for hanging out. Come on back. check, I just took a measuring tape to the kiln. My kiln measures, it's 14 inches tall, it's 10 and a half inches across, and it's 12 inches deep. So it affords me a lot of space in there. I've got another smaller kiln and then like a little travel kiln I use when I go do demos. You know, I don't go live on TikTok right now, and really with these Halloween decorations, I should be, but no, I don't do the TikTok thing. The work I do, the Chinese government doesn't like some of the stuff I do. So this is a color called Red Elvis. Red Elvis is a really nice, dark red. It's still pretty translucent. What's my favorite thing to make? You know, I have a lot of fun on these YouTube or I do a lot of Facebook streaming. I do live on Facebook, probably even more than here. And I have fun when we get a chance to like make something special for somebody on the live stream. I like to say my favorite thing to make is the thing I'm currently working on. It's all a building skill set that kind of grows and grows. Glass is an interesting medium, and whatever you're currently working on, you've taken all of those lessons up to that time. So I get away with saying it's the current piece I'm working on. Why, thank you. I had a friend a long time ago say that I was pretty diplomatic. Living in Colorado, and the rapid change of laws, I live in a community that's very conducive to the functional glass that I make. I also do a lot of stuff with I do love the medium. I do love the craft. I do a lot of fuming, where I add plumes of smoked gold and silver to the surface of the glass. Check this out. This is a little potion vial, a little bottle. And that's some colored line work with gold gold and silver fumed glass around it. Here's a cup. Here's a cup I made in my fume work. I've been toying around with the idea of a bunch of kind of like, well, steampunk stuff. Check it out. I've got some fun little animations. This guy I do for the magic wands. Character I do for kind of like, my thought is I like the steampunk kind of thing, so this is a great uncle that well, he always had his head up in the clouds. I've got to go grab a bottle of water. I'm going to be right back. Shucks, all my water's out in the car. I'll get some in a little bit. Let's play with some color. I'm gonna take some color called steel wool and make a little handle. just taking this colored glass, this steel wool, and I'm running stripes down the length of this section of clear glass, creating a colored layer. Balanced around the surface of the glass. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get it all nice and hot. I'm going to melt that all in. And as it goes liquid, again, it wants to become round. It wants to kind of melt into itself. So you sew? A yarn ribbon. Do you crochet? Do you, it sounds like you have your own hobby, skill set that you work with. Sew, knit, and crochet. Nice. It's fun to be able to work with your hands and, well, make stuff. How long have you been doing your craft? Down through the family generation to generation. Very cool. Melted in nicely. I'm going to flatten this out. This is going to be the handle. I just scored these. This is a new tool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything nice and hot. My Facebook page going right now. I get a lot more activity on Facebook, which diverts my attention quite a bit. I will go live on Facebook here in a little while, but I really wanted to get a little bit of work done. And honestly, I've been trying to grow my YouTube channel quite a bit. It's been more of a focus for me. just have Facebook, or I just have YouTube going right now. Thank you very much. If you would, hit that like and subscribe button. Find a button and tag it. No, that's just a graphite rod. And I'm adding a little contour to it. Going in with my hand torch, just melting everything in, making sure it's all nice and happy. Smooth glass is happy glass. Make a little marble. So that gray, that section we were just working on, that's going to be the handle. I'm gonna put a little pizzazz. What I do is I take this red that I was talking about, the light Elvis. I'm going to get a nice vibrant red ball or marble to put at the end of the handle. Color's really cool as it turns clear when it's hot, but then it strikes back to red when it cools back to room temperature. Excuse me. Melting in all this red. I take a graphite marble mold. It's got little spheres cut out of it. I'm really fortunate to have the torch I have. This is called a GTT Samurai. It's really a pretty awesome torch, if I may say so. Here in a moment, I'm going to slap some of this stuff together. I think I'm going to use the lathe for a little while. Hang out for a little bit. I'll change the camera and we'll work on the lathe. Go ahead and get all these pieces kind of ready to assemble. So I'm going to make the channel. And again, this is going to be made out of that red that I was using. section that's in between the handle and the tip. What's up? Super nice out today. It's well, I've been outside for a little bit. They were calling for thunder showers this afternoon, possible thunder showers, but it's been a beautiful fall here in Denver. We've had like 70-degree weather, sunny, blue skies. It don't suck. What's it doing out there, weather-wise? Hot, sun kicking, blue skies. Man, patio dining has been calling my name the last couple days. It's just been beautiful out.
Doesn't Adelitas have a nice like outdoor area?
You know, it's all covered. Adelitas is actually right on Broadway, so they don't got anything. And then the Mescalia, I think that's right, Mescaleria. They're in the back, and it's a covered patio space, so it's not open to the air. But Illegal Pete's has a pretty cool patio spot. little section here is going to go between the handle and the tip. I'm going to make the tip out of like a sparkling black that I have. It's called Galaxy. Because we're going to the lathe, I want to make sure this is pretty straight. If it's not straight. Ow, that's hot. It's not straight when it goes to the lathe. As it spins round and round, any inconsistency is going to make it exaggerated. So that's looking pretty good right there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the marble to the end of the handle. Then I'm going to take the handle off the little section of clear glass and then be able to attach that red section to it. So let's go play with the lathe. Becca, how did I get into it? I really liked the medium. You know, I work for a demo, or I do demos for a tour company, and I've been asked that question a lot, and it took me a little while of answering the question to realize that growing up, I grew up on a small tourist coastal fishing town on the coast of Maine, and there was a cool cat that had he was a glass blower. And he had a little shop right on the coast, and what he would do is he'd spend summers in Maine and winters in Florida. And he'd make all these little kind of, collectibles, little figurines, very different style glass work than I do. But I got to see glass molten and melted and formed into some cool shapes, and I fell in love with it. So it really goes back to being a kid on the coast of Maine. Okay, the lathe helps me keep things nice and straight, and I'm going to be able to get things like juicy hot, really hot. So when I stick them together, they really seal up nicely. Nice.
Another one.
Another one, a freshie? Killer. You posting those up? You selling them?
I did a post with Pete today, and then I'm gonna let that run for a couple days, and then I'm gonna do another reel of these.
Killer. Okay, this is gonna make sure this is nice and sealed. This is not how everybody uses a lathe, but it's how I'm using a lathe today. Becca, I work in like I said, I've got a studio that's got a bunch of different ways you can get involved with glass. So I rent month to month, and I'm one of, well shucks, there's 6, 12, there's like 18 rental spots. So I share this space with a bunch of shop mates. And right now we got a great group of people hanging out, kind of working on all of our own kind of projects, our own kind of businesses. You know, a wood lathe has got a lot of similarities to a glass lathe, but a lot of differences. Same, but different. And we're all glass blowers here in the studio. right, I'm gonna get ready to go back to the bench, and we're gonna stripe out the tip. I'm gonna make a nice sparkling black section. We do collaborative stuff. We do kind of pass on some of our knowledge, but quite a bit of the time we're working on our own own things. So, but we've got a nice little community, and we do a little bit of both. Hey, I'm gonna go grab that bottle of water I was talking about. I'll be right back. And then we're gonna finish off this this magic wand. Car keys. So true. Yes, agua. It's a good idea. Water does the body good. Galaxy Sparkling Glass. This right here is one of my favorite colors right now. I use a lot of it. demonstrates its beautiful effects. I'll show you here in a moment when I get this all melted in. Sure it's nice and straight. And I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment, I think. It should work out well. around my neck right now, I have a blow tube. This blow tube allows me to add air pressure into hollow sections. And right now I'm not working with hollows, so I'm not really using the blow tube all that much. Well, at all, I guess. But it would allow me to puff into it. Creating air pressure in a hollow vessel, being able to blow it out and make spheres or holes or all sorts of ways to manipulate a hollow section of glass with this blow tube. Again, I'm working with solid right now, so it wouldn't serve me any purpose to blow into this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna add some extra fire. I'm gonna try to add some extra fire. I'm gonna add a little less extra fire. There we go. That's what I want. And I'm going to straighten this section out just a little bit. I made my first ghost, and somebody like mid-ghost was like, "Can you put a tea light in there?" I was like, "Oh, this one's not gonna be big enough, but the next one I make, I'm gonna make big enough for a tea light." And it really came out sweet. Unfortunately, the tea lights I bought were battery operated, and they were not good batteries. They don't light up right now. But I'm gonna have to get some freshies and light those up. You know, I probably should do that before my next live video. I'm gonna add even some more heat, more fire. Nice, Becca. You got to see the short. Shucks! It just broke. It was coming out really cool too. Bummer. Can I save it? I might be able to save part of it. The black section that got curled all around, that's unsalvageable. Unfortunately, that's toast. Shucks. Double shucks. Rat farts. I'll be able to salvage the handle. I'll be able to reuse a little bit of it. Oh, it does happen. It happens a little too often in the glass world, but just gotta roll with it, I guess. We'll live to spin another day. Well, check this out. Thanks so very much. No, I am going to definitely get another piece going for it, but I'm going to take a quick little breather, bathroom break, and I'm going to kick it for a few moments and then get back to it. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad that you were able to stop in. It was nice chatting. I hope you'll hit that subscribe button and again, hit a like button or hit a bunch of buttons so that way we can, YouTube will put the algorithm in both of our lanes. Again, thanks for hanging out. Ooh. Here's a section of that galaxy that I was talking about. Well, I hope I'll see you again. I hope I'll see you again soon, maybe even this afternoon. And thank you. Have a wonderful day.